What's going on, everybody? Jay Lawson here, the Black Statistician. And today I just want to go into just a little discussion I had today at lunch with a buddy of mine. We were talking about the subject of why black men, he said, tend to go to white women, right? But I look at everything statistically. They don't tend to go to black women, but sometimes they go, a certain percentage of them will date black women, right? Or white women. And he was saying they tend to go to white women because of the fact that, black women have attitudes, and he gave some other points. But one thing that I noticed about it, because from his experience, maybe there is some truth to that. But I feel like when we get into that the discussion tends to go into like a generalization, like when we say we find a guy that says, I only date white women, right? And you say, why do you only date white women? And he says, well, because black women have attitudes. Now, do some black women have attitudes? Of course they do, right? We all know a lot of black women with attitudes, right? But we also know some black women that don't have major attitudes or are kind of laid back, and maybe you'll be like, oh, okay, she's a little bit different, right? There's different personalities for different people, That's my point. Like my ex, you would never say that about her. She is black. You know what I'm saying? Like she is probably one of the best problem solvers I've ever met in my life. In fact, sometimes I still call her today when I have issues come up or whatever. And I say, hey, how would you handle somebody that comes at you like this? Because me, I have a pretty short fuse, but that's just because of, my career path and the stress of my job. But, the thing is, we can't always just lump people in. I think so what I told him is, because, I'll get off the topic a little bit, but let me get back. What I think is there's a little bit of a underlying issue that's not being said. Like maybe certain people are just like maybe they're tiptoeing around the real issue, but they're not saying it, So I was just like, if I was to find you a black woman that did not have attitude, would you want to date her, And to me, if the answer is no, then that means that maybe you just aren't attracted to black women, Some people are just not attracted to white women, or not attracted to black women, not attracted to Asian women. There's nothing wrong with that. So my point is, just be honest with yourself. You don't have to be putting down a whole group of people and being like, oh, black men are lazy, they don't work. You know what I'm saying? There's very few people that work as many hours as I work. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm black. So it's not one of those things where you can say all people do this or all people do that. And also have a backbone. You know what I mean? If you don't like certain type of people, be like, look, I don't like black women because to me, I'm not attracted to them. If that's how you feel. Me personally, I love black women. Do they sometimes have attitudes? Yes, of course they do. But look at the situation that's going on now. Look at how much black people are under the microscope right now, and how much flack black women and black men are taking. And I'll even lump the Hispanic community in that as well. Like when you talk about the election and stuff like that, and how people are just getting treated a certain way, or you got presidential candidates saying blanket statements about, all Mexicans this and stuff like that. You can understand how anybody could be a little bit tense at a time like this. So yes, some black women do have attitudes, and those black women do need a strong man, to stand by them. So if you're not a strong person, like strong enough to stand beside a woman like that, then obviously that person's not right for you. you know. But at the same time, we do have to, I would say to black women that know that they have a strong attitude, right? If they're trying to attract more black men, you know, they need to be a little bit more adaptable, like maybe control their emotions a little bit more or something like that. But the thing is, there's no right and wrong answer. You know, when you meet somebody that you're interested in, it doesn't matter what race or ethnicity they are. You know, you're gonna be yourself and feel like and see if you're a match for that person, you know. But one thing I think people do is they take their past and what happened in their past and bring it forward. For example, I was dating a girl about 3 weeks ago, and she said that she had trust issues, right? Because her two exes previous to me, well, I wasn't really her boyfriend, but I was just it was like a date. But the two people that she was messing with before me both cheated on her, right? So pretty good length of relationships, and they both cheated on her. So she was saying that she's not going to be trusting because of that, right? So for her, it would take some guy that was going to be willing to peel those layers back and be like, you know, and show her that he was trustworthy. And if I would have gotten to the point where, you know, I would want to be with her for any length of time, then I would be that person to do that. You know, the way the night went, the relationship went a different way. But my point is, you know, if somebody's not your type, just be like, look, that person's not my type. But you don't have to go around just bashing people and stuff like that, you know. But that in itself, because of the stereotype, you know, that black women are this or black women are that, that is one of the reasons why black men go to white women. But another reason is that a black man will have had a bad experience with a black woman, right? So like maybe one of two reasons normally will happen. When he was in his earlier 20s, he got a black woman pregnant, and then she has him on child support, and he didn't want the kid, you know. So now he's paying child support for a kid that he doesn't even want because he's not a stand-up type of guy. And then in his mind, he's upset at all black women because of that. So he's going to flip the script and go to the complete opposite side, right? He might be like, I only date white women because of that. Another reason is in high school, you know, maybe black women weren't trying to give him no kind of attention, you know, and maybe white women were giving him attention. Because what happens a lot of times is in high school, women give attention to, you know, the popular guys, the thugs, the jocks, you know, the funny guys, maybe, but that whole other group, which is maybe 60% of people, 70% of black men, don't get as much attention. So they're getting crumbs, you know what I mean? They may get the whole year, they may only talk to or date like 2 or 3 different women, you know, or something like that. So fast forward maybe 5 or 6 years, that group of people is usually the ones that end up working harder to develop their personality, study more. Like I always say, they don't have kids, so they work harder and get the better job. So by the time they're 26, 27, man, these guys are loaded. These guys make anywhere between 60 and 150 grand a year, have one kid or no kid. And what happens? You know, they have all the attention from all the black women, right? Well, actually, like a lot of women, because, you know, when people start maturing, especially the black community, we start maturing in that mid-20s, you know, they start shifting their focus and want to be with a certain type of person, somebody more stable, you know. They usually start leaving the thugs alone around that time. That person that was supposed to have been a football player, that didn't work out. They're leaving him alone, you know, and then they need somebody more stable. So what happens is they end up going after the, you know, the guy that was the square, or the guy that was the one that really pursued them all the time, or the guy that was the valedictorian that really didn't talk to too many people, or just the average guy that just ended up making 80, 90 grand a year as an engineer or something like that, you know? So that guy ends up getting more attention. And at that point, those people, that group has a good percentage of them may have a preconceived notion about black women. So that's why I always say the key to getting a successful black man is to motivate him when he's on the way to that success. You know, be close to him, be his boyfriend when you're on the way. Because if you don't, when he gets to the success, he's going to resent whoever he wanted when he wasn't successful, because he wasn't checking for white girls back then. But he probably will be now, because the black women are the ones that he resents, right? So the fix for that, like I said, is just support him then you don't have to worry about it later. But everybody wants to put the cart, like they say, put the cart before the horse. They want the end result now. You know, I want a guy that's successful. I want a guy that makes 6 figures. I want a guy that's going to take care of my kids. I want a guy that's going to, you know, it doesn't work like that. You know, most of those guys are going to look at you like you're crazy. I'm telling you right now, you know, it takes a very strong person to, and I like thinking of myself as a strong guy, but even me, I take a step back when a woman has like a couple of kids, you know, because you don't even like a lot goes through a man's mind when there's kids involved and stuff like that. You know, like I'm not like, do I want to be in this kid's life knowing that I might not make it with his mother? You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of things you're thinking about. So, you know, back to the original point, these type of things, you know, and that's the aggravation of, you know, a woman coming after a guy when he's successful, but they weren't really checking for him before. That pushes men away a lot of times, and it'll push them right into Becky's arms. You know, simple as that. And then people will say, oh, he got all this money, so he's messing with a white girl. But it's not even that. It's that he was pushed away before, because like I said, I guarantee you, when he was in high school, if somebody latched on to that guy then and was like, you know what, we're going to make it. I'm going to support you, whatever your dreams are. Or somebody latched on to him when he was 22 in college, you know, working them late nights and not even working. So he was making no money, just staying in the dorms all night. You know, if somebody caught him at that point, you know, he would be loyal to them. And I know a lot of successful black men that are in that situation, married. Hey, I've been married for 10 years. Hey, I've been married for 12 years. You know, married to my high school sweetheart, married to my college sweetheart, you know, but all these women are running around 28, 29 with 2 kids trying to latch on to this. Oh, he's a lawyer, girl. I'm gonna get him. No, you're not. You know what I mean? You're not going to get him. Or if you do, it's going to be very hard to do. I'll tell you that right now. So you might, if you're 28, 29, you might want to look at that guy that's not really doing a whole lot with his practice right now, but he's working on his master's or something like that, or a law degree or whatever, and be like, hey, you know, I know you don't have much now, but, you know, I'll stick with you. You know, I'll motivate you towards that, and actually be a part of it. It's not even being fake, because you're going to be a part of it. You know, you're going to help him motivate towards that. So just keep that in mind, you know. But, you know, those reasons, plus I'm sure there's many more. You know, if you have an idea of why, go ahead and stick it in the comments if you have an idea about this. But that's what I think. That's why I think the main reason a lot of them go towards black women. And then, of course, you have the group that's just that just isn't attracted to black women, you know, but that's a small percentage of black men. But some guys are just not attracted to black women, you know. So hope you enjoyed my little rant. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Just keep in mind, if you always aim for legendary, you will land in success. I'm out.